rewards never earn points toward free pizza.
As you come around, and the world's alive with the sound of kids on the street outside. When you walk into the blue, you will be feeling that it's time to move. And we're spinning with the stars above.
Forget it. Let's just get it started. I don't even care. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Probably the worst ever intro that I've had. I tried. I don't know. I tried to get some music going, but the phone was acting up a bit, so I don't know. But forget it. Forget the intro. Screw it. Maybe we could scratch it out later. I don't know. What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here with Ballard Sports Media coming at you live on let me double check, a Friday night this week coming to an end, the weekend coming up. A lot to talk about. I will get you guys on. I think maybe we could hang out, just talk, and just talk some sports overall. Obviously, as we always do. It doesn't look like anyone's on right now, but I love y'all. I appreciate you. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, the subscribe button. Really would appreciate it. I saw Jacob in here earlier, and of course, that kind of comment here. Y'all hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. It means a lot. I I'll just kind of go with this because I'm just now remembering, it being a Friday night. I see Trenches is live and Pigskin Pete as well. Y'all go sub them up. They're amazing and fantastic, as Pigskin Pete would say. So y'all go subscribe to them. But I figured I'd get a small stream in for you guys tonight. Maybe I'll just kind of run through these topics and kind of clip them later, but we'll see. But there's actually quite a bit of news to go around and talk about, right? That being said, folks, what do you say we kind of get into it here?
Welcome to City Walk. You like to try?
No, that's the wrong one. Hold on. I thought I put. Hold on. Maybe I didn't. It's my mistake. I thought these uploaded, but I guess it didn't save on here. But I thought I had some overlays because there were some tweets that I wanted to show on the screen. Oh, wait. Here they are. I got it. Okay. Let's get into these topics. First topic of conversation tonight is the college football playoff. It's going to expand to 12 teams. The playoff will expand. We know that. There's no way around this. If you want the playoff to expand, you got your wish. If you don't care how many teams there are, you got your wish. If you wanted 8 teams, sorry, they're going to 12. If you didn't want expansion, what do you want us to do? There's nothing we can do right now. You see, we knew there was going to be expansion at some point in the playoff. We didn't know if it would be 50 years, 20 years, whatever down the road. But at the very least, from what we have heard and everything, there's been some recent news that's actually come out about this. This is why we're talking about it, right? Y'all remember the 12-team proposal. It's coming around 2026 or 27, whatever, here in a few years, right? So here's the thing. There was a tweet put out on Twitter, obviously. Nicole Araback of The Athletic put out a tweet. I'll throw this up here. The vote on CFP expansion, which needed to be 11-0 in order to change the format, 11-0 being the voting, of course, in order to change the format prior to 2026, was indeed an 8-3 vote last month. She put this out today around, of course, I'm in Central Time, so I guess it would have been about 5:45 Eastern. So the vote on CFP expansion, which needed to be 11-0 in order to change the format prior to 2026, was indeed an 8-3 vote last month, a source told The Athletic. ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12 voted against it, basically voted against the CFP expansion. The CFP board chairman, Mark Keenum, confirmed this to SI, Sports Illustrated Now, today. So, thank you, Nicole Araback, for putting that out. Basically, what that's saying, and again, I'll show this here. Basically, it needed to be 11-0. Like, there had to be no's. It had to be all 11 people saying yes, apparently, which I think is stupid. I think even in an 8-3 vote, it's still 8-3. 3 people said no out of 11 people. The majority said yes, right? It was 8-3 last month. There's still some changes in this, right? Like, there was already a plan in place. You were going to have 12 teams. You were going to take the 5 conference champions. Then you would probably take, a group of 5 champion, like a Cincinnati like we had this past year, which they did kind of give Bama a game. So, I mean, that wasn't much of a blowout. I mean, yeah, it was 21 points, but I mean, I think it was – Cincinnati gave us a game, right? They didn't just go in there and like any other team get their butts handed to them. It wasn't like that. But here's what you have. Currently, we have the 4-team system, obviously, as we know. I like the 4-team playoff. I'm not against it. If they never expand the playoff, I'm fully okay with that. If they do expand it, they better at least have a good system and do it right. You know what I mean? It's like you got to have a good setup. You got to have a good plan in play, in pace, whatever term you want to use. And the plan was, what was it? The 5 Power 5 champs, right? And then some at-large teams, and you get like a group of 5 champion. You might get a 1. I think that would definitely give Notre Dame an edge. Because think about it. Now, Notre Dame only got in as a 1-loss team because they were in a conference and at least, they lost to Clemson, a conference champion. Okay. If Notre Dame takes a loss in the regular season now, being an independent team, they don't get in the 14 playoff. That's just how it is. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but they don't have a championship to back up the loss that they had to whoever. I don't care if it's Clemson, Georgia, Cincinnati, Bama. If they take a loss, they take a loss. They're basically do or die right now because they're an independent team that doesn't have a conference championship, right? So you have the SEC champion count it an automatic bid. I'm not saying that out of bias for the SEC, but I mean Georgia, Bama, whatever, right? Those are where the best teams are right now. Georgia and Alabama. And then, I mean, we'll see what Brian Kelly does now at LSU. And, A&M with Jimbo should have a good year. You get the Pac-12. It's been a couple years, but they've gotten in once or twice before. The Big Ten. You had Michigan last year, and then you've had Ohio State get in 3 or 4 different times. The Big 12 is always Oklahoma, right? You're going to get the Power 5 champions 9 times out of 10, right? I'm not even – I want to share how I would do the playoff, but I've shared it so many times. I think for a guarantee, like if it's a 2-loss Pac-12 champion, and we're talking expansion and we're having this 12-team playoff, I say put a 2-loss champion in. They might have 2 losses. So what? They won their conference, 2 losses. Some teams can hardly finish with a 10-win season. Some teams, it's hard to do. Some teams have been working at that for a long time. You got a team like Oregon goes 10-2, 11-2 with a conference championship. You're going to leave that out of a 12-team playoff? You got to be kidding me. Overall, there's a lot of change going on in college football expansion, right? There was a plan set in place that we're going to have 12 teams. This is going to start in like the 25, 26, somewhere in a couple years, 3 or 4 years down the road. This is what's going to happen. That's the 12-team proposal, right? Now, today, Nicole Auerbach puts that tweet out, right? Which shout out to her. She's not making any. She's a reporter. She kind of puts this out what she hears. She's like an insider, and she does a heck of a job. Appreciate her putting stuff out like that. Heather Dinich as well out there. Feinbaum gets these great people on his show all the time, and they got some good insight. But she puts that tweet out quoting Mark Keenum. On the CFP board of directors. He's a chairman, right? Y'all saw the tweet. The vote on CFP expansion, which needed to be 11-0. Basically, you could not have someone say no. It was 8-3 last month. 3 people said no to it, right? That's it. It needed to be 11-0 to change the current format before 2026. We're talking 4 years down the road. So there's still some continuing change. I just kind of put that title there, but it's still kind of like it's still kind of evolving. Maybe this 12-team format isn't what's going to happen. I'm not now. Maybe you're sitting there saying you're crazy. It's going to be 12 teams. They already decided that. I know, but there's still proposals out there. There's still a lot going on. There's still a lot happening, and we just don't know what to do, right? Like, what do you do? I mean, seriously, 11. What? Because one player said no. One player says now we're good. It's okay. We're not going to do it. We're not going to expand on it. And you're like, you got to be kidding me. You know, I mean, seriously, the college football playoff. First off, let me ask y'all this. Right? I know nobody's really watching right now. I get it, but I'm gonna put this out later anyway. I would ask you right now. You have to change the current system. Would you rather go forward or go backwards in college football? Would you rather play a little game of Would You Rather, right? Y'all remember playing that game growing up. It was incredible. Would you rather go back to the BCS with a computerized system, not a legitimate committee, where there were so many asterisk teams that won championships? Would you rather do that and go backwards to how it was before, which I didn't really have much problem with the BCS, but I like the playoff system and having a legitimate committee, you know, more like that's just better, in my opinion. Would you rather go back to that, or would you rather go forward and just have some extra teams in there? Go back to a computerized 2-team system, or go forward to this 12-team system where some teams, I mean, really, like the top 4 could be legitimate, in my opinion. Seriously, I think the top 4 could be pretty special and something great. But then the question becomes, what's next? 5 through 12, really. I mean, you're going to get one other Power 5 champion. You get a Cincinnati or UCF. And then you get some at-large teams. The at-large teams kind of what will screw this up, in my opinion. Because let me give you a scenario, too. And I'll end on this topic with this note. But let's say you get Bama, wins the SEC. You get Clemson in the ACC. You get Ohio State from the Big Ten. You get Oklahoma from the Big 12, right? Although I know Oklahoma and Texas are moving to the SEC, but let's stick to where everybody is right now for a second. Okay, that's 4. And the Pac-12, let's say Oregon. That's 5 Power 5 conference champions. Then let's say you get even a one-loss Cincinnati. Would you put a group of 5 champion like that? You'd have to give them a chance, right? You would have to, I think. What at-large teams? You take a one-loss Georgia? There's a team. That's 6. Would you put a one-loss Notre Dame that's not in a conference? Would you put an independent one-loss team like that in there? I guess it depends on strength of schedule. Who's their loss to, and do they have any quality wins? Well, let's say they beat teams like Cincinnati. Let's say, hypothetically, they play a team like, give me a Florida. And let's say at the time Florida's ranked 25th and Notre Dame's 18. Well, they beat a top 25 team and they went to the Swamp or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm babbling on now, but you get what I'm getting at. Like, what are the teams you're going to put in? I know they want to get the Power 5, but who are the at-large teams? And then, to top it off, I hate to admit it. Believe me, I do. But we all know. And we don't sit there and say like it's a guarantee this will happen, but most likely, if we had to say yes or no to it, we'd probably say yes. If we expand, you get the first 4 teams with buys. But let's say if the 12 seed wins it and they go play even 4, you don't think the higher seeded teams, the higher ranked, just the better teams are going to win and probably win big in blowouts? Like, what are the chances a 12 seed in the 12-team playoff runs the table all the way to a title? 1 in a billion, probably. Because that 12th team is probably a Cincinnati. No disrespect to them. It's probably a Tulsa or a UCF or someone. It might be an Oregon. But you're going to have to face the bigger guys in Georgia, Alabama. If Clemson gets back, you got them. You got Ohio State. You got Oklahoma, possibly with Brent Venables. I think he could do some great things there. You got the bigger teams that you're still not on that level. There's still changes in this playoff expansion. I don't know if I want to say it's a given that it's going to be 12 teams, but that's what it seems like. But again, I showed the tweet and everything, right? To vote on CFP expansion, which needs to be 11-0 in order to change the format. Nobody can say no. It was an 8-3 vote last month. The Pac-12, the ACC, and the Big Ten voted against it. Voted against it. Notice those conferences, by the way. The ACC, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12. That means the Big 12 and the SEC, which, by the way, you got Big 12 teams going to the SEC. Go figure that one out. Does the Big 12 want to expand so they can get the other Big 12 teams in there potentially to finally – well, first off, they finally want to win a playoff game. The ACC has nobody outside of Clemson. You look at that. The SEC is like, we could get even 3 SEC teams in this time, baby. We could probably try that. Pac-12 is like, who cares? Nobody's on the same page with this. I'm going to end it on this note for this topic here, folks. But here's my final thoughts on CFP expansion. I'm not against it. I thought it would be a great idea. I think it should be 8 teams. I think it should be the top 8 teams. Because think about this. You get 4 teams. And we're always focusing on the top 10 anyway. If they could at least crack the top 10, that'd be special and amazing. And even the teams 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're left out. They still get New Year's Six balls anyway that rotate for the college football playoff. How do we know that we're making the right decision to put this team in at 4 over who you eventually put at 5 or 6 or whatever? How do we know? Expand to 8 teams. Take the best 8 teams in America that you think, committee, are great. Put them head to head. But of course, we got a proposal for a 12-team playoff. I would say that's probably an inevitable situation right there, in my opinion, if you ask me. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Let me know what you think about all this, and we'll move on and move forward in the stream tonight. But I think that this playoff expansion, I'm fine with it how it is now. But if it was to expand, I would go to 8 teams. And I think the committee just needs to finally put their foot down and say, this is what we're going to do when we're going to do it, and be done with it. Because this is all drama and nonsense, if you ask me. Anyway, I got to move on. I've 23 minutes into the stream. I spent maybe a 10-minute or 5-minute countdown, whatever. Anyway. The latest in bracketology. March Madness. It's here. It's around the corner. It's coming up here in a couple weeks. The latest in men's basketball. What do we do? What do we look at? Who's a Cinderella team this year? What is a Cinderella team, by the way? Well, actually, that'll be topic number 3. We'll get to that in a second. But I want to show you the current and I'm just going to be honest, I haven't watched all these teams this year. I mean, I don't have the notes in front of me, so I can't tell you who's good or who's not good. But I want to show you March Madness bracketology real quick. You got the Western region, Gonzaga, Norfolk State, New Orleans, whatever. Wyoming's in there. Auburn's in there. Alabama, Ohio State, and so on and so forth. This keeps updating. This is the 68-team bracket. On the bubble, you got the last 4 byes. That get, I guess, a first-round bye. I don't know. Iowa State, Oklahoma, Rutgers, San Francisco. Last 4 in. They're at the bottom. Memphis, North Carolina, Michigan, Craig. The first 4 out. SMU, Oregon, BYU, San Diego State. The next 4 that are out. Florida, Kansas State, Belmont, Virginia Tech, and so on and so forth. The top overall seed, they give it to Gonzaga. No surprise there, right? This is updated today, this morning at 7 a.m. Eastern, by the way, Joe Lunardi. So this is via ESPN. I'm just going to be honest. I still don't get like all of this. I mean, I guess I do. Like, I know what teams are good. I watch them. I get it. But who's a Cinderella team this year? Truly. And we'll kind of get to that topic number 3. But you look at bracketology real quick, right? A team that I like, USC, right now is peaking at the right time. Like, they are slowly creeping up. I don't think it's a necessarily dream season or Cinderella type of thing. I don't think that they're an invitational team and all of a sudden they win the Natty being an NIT, but they got 4 games left, or 5 games, I'm sorry. Washington State, Oregon State, at Oregon. By the way, that Oregon State game's on the road too. They get them and Oregon back to back on the road. They go back home to play Arizona. Then they close it out with rival UCLA, who was the Cinderella team last year, right? And we'll talk about those for this year in a minute. But USC, right? You look at Chavez Godwin. Chavez, I don't know how you say his name, but Goodwin is 58th in the nation in his field goal percentage. He's at 59.6. It's still a good number, though, for USC. Like, they are having one of their better seasons in a little while. But they seem like they get better and better each week, right? Are they another Pac-12 team to be a Cinderella team? And don't forget, UCLA made the Final Four as an 11 seed last year. They beat Alabama in overtime. Alabama was like a 2 seed or a 5 seed or something like that. They were pretty high up in their region on the bracket. But a team like USC, are they taking a run at it? Like, what does it look like? And again, I'll put this link here for you, Joe Lunardi, in his bracketology on ESPN. It's pretty cool how they have it set up like this too, by the way. But again, on the bubble, Michigan, North Carolina, Creighton, Memphis are the last 4. In the last 4 that get buys, San Francisco, Rutgers, Oklahoma, Iowa State. Incredible, right? So Memphis is new in the bracket. They're an 11 seed. Michigan is new. Southern and UNC Wilmington are automatic qualifiers. North Carolina has moved down. Creighton has moved down. Right? They're tied at 12. They would be playing my Crimson Tide right now in the Buffalo region. Right? I guess that's saying where they play is in Buffalo. Wisconsin and Iona. LSU's in there. San Francisco. We had some weird teams like Seton Hall or whatever in there. We had like a UC Santa Barbara last year. Y'all remember them showing up? We had some crazy Colgate, the toothpaste school. Where is that anyway? Colgate. What university? Let me see. Liberal Arts College in Madison County, New York. Okay, so it's Hamilton. It's a private university, but they got men's basketball. But anyways, I'm not trying to diss them. But again, you look at some bracketology here. Tennessee is a 4 seed in the Pittsburgh region here. You got Duke as a 2 seed. Xavier moves down a few spots at 7. Indiana. I like Indiana, man. I really do. I think Indiana could have a good season. Or they've had a good season, but they could be a team to have a good run. They're 16-9. They finished 9th in the Big Ten. But the only thing I would say is they're on a 4-game losing streak. It's really tough. I mean, they have not played the offense that they need to. Trace Jackson Davis, number 23 for them, has a field goal percentage of 57. He leads the team in field goal percentage of 57.8. Right? He also leads in points per game at 18. They got some pretty good players. They just are not in the right position that they should be in, really, in my opinion, if you ask me. Overall, what? Okay. Where was I? Oh, overall, there's a lot of great teams on this bracketology, right? Texas is rising up. Iowa's in there. TCU, Kentucky, obviously we know about them, and Duke. This might be a year of the favorites I've mentioned. You see Auburn, Kentucky, Gonzaga, Purdue, Bama currently a 5 seed I mentioned. Ohio State is really, really good too. They're practically the best in the Big Ten, it seems like right now. When you look at Ohio State, which, I mean, the Big Ten in basketball is pretty darn good. Michigan State, right? When you look at that, which actually I apologize. I mean, the Buckeyes, they're working their way. Purdue currently ranked 5th is the best in the Big Ten. Then you got Illinois at 12. You listen to this. Still 14 teams in the Big Ten Conference in basketball, just like football. You have 5 of them ranked. All within the top 20, by the way. Then you got a couple teams out there that they're doing okay. Like Iowa's 17-8 on the year. That's not too bad. Indiana is 11-9 or 16-9. I'm sorry, I misread that. Penn State struggling 11-12. Northwestern 12-12, and so on and so forth. But overall, what I'll say about this is the latest bracketology again from Joe Lenardi. I can't say if I agree with this or not. I'm not an expert in making brackets. I'm not. If you could pre-make a bracket, I could fill it out online and simulate these games for you. These are too many, though, to do that. But, like, UCLA, I know, brings back a lot. Could they make it back to the Final Four? I don't even think they'd be a Cinderella team this year. I think they're straight up good. I mean, they're currently a 3 seed in this bracket in the San Diego region. They'd be playing Seattle, who's 14. They would ultimately play LSU or San Fran, and then play someone like Loyola Chicago or Marquette, Texas Tech, Long Beach, whatever it might be. I mean, is this a year of the favorites? I'm telling you. Do we count a team like UCLA in that mix? Who would you say are the favorites? Like, you can't sit there and say of a 68-team bracket, there's only 2 teams. It's Gonzaga and Auburn and everybody else this year. It seems that way. But Jacob likes a team like Purdue or someone. Tennessee is currently 16. They're 18-6. USC is 17 in the nation. They're 21-4. There's some teams out there, man. I'm telling you. And USC is incredible in basketball this year, too. I mean, I mentioned them. 21-4, 3-game win streak. Chavez Godwin, 58th in the nation in his field goal percentage, which isn't too bad. It's still a good number. They seem like they're getting better each week, right? Are they a team that, not necessarily out of nowhere, but are they a team to kind of run the table a bit? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I don't know. But it's only a matter of time until March gets here in a couple weeks, and we get this going, we get it started. And don't forget, we will be covering all of it. Or I can't cover every single game, but I'm going to try to do my best to cover as much of the madness in March for you here on Ballard Sports Media. So stay tuned. Get your basketball. Go shoot some hoops. Get ready, because March is just around the corner. I'm excited for it. And let's just have a good tournament overall. We'll see what happens. So, but anyways, So I guess I could go ahead and drop the link and let you guys on. I ran through what I wanted to talk about. Really, I didn't really put this up though. Like some Cinderella dream teams. I mean, we kind of ran through that and mentioned it, but again, overall, I mean, you got the playoff expansion is just nonsense and drama. You got March Madness happening. Just a lot. Texas is a good team. They're 20th. They're 19-7, fourth in the Big 12. Marcus Carr's got the most assists per game at 3.5. Timmy Allen is a great forward for him, number 0. He is amazing. He helped them in overtime just the other day with Oklahoma. It was incredible. The power rankings, Jeff Borzello put Gonzaga at number 1 again. You know, I don't know if I want, like, this is a year of the favorite. I don't know if we'll get a UCLA this year. You know what I mean? I just don't know if we'll get that. I hope so in a way, but I'm just going to be honest. I just think it's that weird year where we just have all these great teams, these favorites, and you just got to deal with it. I mean, how cool would it? I mean, we could get – we had 2 SEC teams in college football facing the Natty in Georgia and Alabama, right? How cool would it be if, like, you know – like, how cool would it be if we got Kentucky and Auburn or, like, Tennessee? Or it doesn't even have to just be the SEC. I mentioned some teams in there. Like, you have Baylor and Kansas. They're in the Big 12. But what if you got 2 teams from the same conference go at it? Duke from the ACC, and then, I don't know, who else is in here? I guess we're the only ACC team ranked, right? It looks like it. Other receiving votes, Miami's got 3 points. I don't know. Notre Dame. Notre Dame's in the ACC. They're not ranked, but they got some votes to be ranked. Outside looking in right there. Anyway, let's see what's up with the Olympics, man. I kind of wanted to talk about this, but we could – I didn't know if I wanted to wait until after the Winter Olympics to, you know, I don't know. We could look at the Olympics. I'm going to watch some tonight, I think, but I've been recording them at least because when they're on, I'm normally out and about doing stuff. What do you say? One more here tonight. One more topic I'll do for you because it looks like people aren't watching, but I know it's getting late too. But Winter Olympic medal track. Okay, let's go for it. Let's see where we're at in here. So I'm assuming that's it just highlighted Norway with 34 medals, Russian Olympic Committee with 27, and Canada with 24. 15 gold medals for Norway, 8 silver, 11 bronze. Russia has 9 silver, 13 bronze, and 5 gold. And of course, obviously seeing this, it doesn't matter what kind of medal you get, but just get enough medals. Currently, let's just focus on America real quick. That's the one that matters. God bless it. 8 gold medals, 9 silver, 6 bronze. That's not too bad. They're at 23. They're currently in 4th place, right? Want to see what we have so far, though. Snowboarding in the women's half pipe, Chloe Kim had a 94 score. Freestyle skiing, mixed aerial teams, Justin Schoenfield. Also kind of tied there. We were not really tied, but other gold that we had Ashley Cadwell, Christopher Lillis, Nathan Chen in figure skating in the men's singles. Snowboarding mixed snowboard cross team, Lindsay Jacobellis, Nick Baumgartner. Bobsled women's, Kaylee Humphreys with 419. I was watching some bobsledding this morning, actually, and I'm just like, holy cow, this is awesome. I mean, they literally, they get behind it. They run as fast as they can on ice, fast as hell. They just haul it, right? They keep going, they jump in, and they take off, right? Like, there's not much athleticism other than running to get a quick head start on the bobsled itself, right? But Kaylee Humphreys at bobsled, the women's monobob. Freestyle skiing, men's slope style, Alexander Hall with a 90.1. Snowboarding, women's. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just reading these off to you. I don't know much about these sports. Again, I got some recorded that I might have to go back and watch or just go on YouTube and find some highlights. But it looks like you got some gold in snowboarding, women's half pipe, freestyle skiing, mixed aerials team, figure skating, men's singles, snowboarding, mixed snowboard cross team, bobsled, women's monobob, freestyle skiing is men's slope style. You got gold. You got women's snowboard cross, women's 500 meter speed skating, which actually I have seen the speed skating. I think that's pretty cool. Snowboarding in silver, women's slope style, Julia Marino, Jalen Koff, or Jolene. I don't know. It's in women's moguls in freestyle skiing. Figure skating mixed team, Brandon Frazier in silver, Alexa Nearum. I don't know these names. Evan Bates, Madison Hubble, Madison Chalk, Zachary Donahue, Vincent Zoe, Nathan Chen, Karen Chen, I guess relatives there. Alpine skiing in silver, men's Super G, Ryan Cochran Siegel. Colby Stevenson in men's freestyle skiing, big air. Women's bobsled, Elena Myers-Taylor, and so on and so forth. Shout out to all of them representing Team USA in the Winter Olympics. We love and appreciate all of you. Keep bringing it back home. Look at some bronze here too. I'll be fair here. Where was I? Elena Myers-Taylor and women's monobob bobsled. Freestyle skiing in silver. Men's slope style, Nicholas Goper. Ice hockey, it was a gold medal game and the USA won over Canada. No actual players to shout out there. It's Team USA there. Freestyle skiing, men's half pipe, and David Wise. Figure skating, mixed ice dance team in bronze. Madison Hubble, Zachary Donahue, Megan Nick, I'm sorry, is freestyle skiing in bronze. Shout out to Megan Nick and all of these other athletes. Emery Lehman in speed skating, men's team pursuit. Emery Lehman, Joey Mantia, Ethan Sipurin, Casey Dawson, Jesse Diggins in cross country, women's sprint freestyle, speed skating, women's 1,000 meter, Brittany Bowe, freestyle skiing, men's half pipe, Alex Fiera. And again, just kind of sum it up here, 23 total medals, 8 gold, 9 silver, and 6 bronze. Love and appreciate all the athletes representing Team USA at the Winter Olympics. We appreciate you. Keep it up. I think there's still a couple days left, but I'm going to have to go back and watch some of the recordings tonight, definitely, for sure. But that's what you got here for Team USA and the medal tracker. And overall, shout out to all these athletes and everything they're doing to bring some gold and just entertainment to Team USA. Really, just forget the medals. I know that we want to be the best country. I know that we want to compete. I know all that. But, man, they go out, and even if they're not winning these, we know that they're training for 4 years, probably even longer than that, because some of them get in for the first time and they've been training their whole lives. day in and day out. And even if you don't make it all the way, we salute and thank you just for putting on good shows. I mean, it's really quality entertainment. I don't say that like it's a laughing stock or anything or whatever. It's amazing to watch, though. It truly is, and we thank you. So shout out to all the Olympians at the Winter Olympics this year in 2022. So, but again, honestly, I think that's going to do it, guys. I dropped the StreamYard link, but nobody hopped in. But I think I'm just going to end it here. I appreciate everyone watching on Facebook. I appreciate everyone watching, obviously, on YouTube. It was still a good stream. I ran through some stuff. We talked about it. We talked about CFP expansion, bracketology, teams to look out for. We looked at some medals in the Olympics. So, but I think I'm going to call it a night here. Just kind of relax, hang out around the house and everything. But hey, y'all do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Share it out. Keep growing the channel. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Jesus loves you. He's got an amazing plan for your life. Just keep believing that. Have faith. Trust him with everything. And he's going to do some amazing things. He's definitely doing some amazing things for me in my life. He wants to do the same for you. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. God bless. And folks, like I always say,
Roll Tide!
Roll Tide. Love you guys. Ballard Sports Media checking out. Y'all have a good night. God bless.